All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into a presidential pardon that's really stirring things up, connecting a multi-billion-dollar crypto empire directly to the White House. It's a story that's got everyone asking some pretty big questions about power, money, and frankly, what the future of crypto in the US even looks like.
So this whole thing really kicked off with one heck of a statement. On October 23rd, the White House didn't just announce a pardon, they declared, and I'm quoting here, that the war on crypto is over. I mean, that's a huge signal of a massive shift in government policy.
Okay, so what actually happened? Well, on Thursday, President Donald Trump went ahead and issued a full pardon for one of the most powerful figures in the entire crypto world. And as you can imagine, that move sent some serious shockwaves through the market, like immediately.
Now, the man at the center of all this is Changpang Zhao, but pretty much everyone in the industry just calls him CZ. We're talking about the billionaire founder of Binance, which is, only the largest crypto exchange on the entire planet. His influence in this space, it's really hard to overstate.
This right here brings us to the real heart of the controversy. Because to get why this pardon is such a big deal, you first have to understand the crime that made it necessary in the first place. Back in late 2023, CZ personally stood up and pleaded guilty to a federal felony. The charge? Failing to keep a proper anti-money laundering program running at his company. And as part of that deal, Binance itself had to shell out a staggering $4.3 billion settlement. The Department of Justice's case really laid out the sheer scale of this problem. Turns out Binance had failed to report over 100,000 suspicious transactions to the authorities. 100,000. That's a huge number.
And look, these were not just minor mistakes or oversights. The Department of Justice alleged that these transactions involved dealings with U.S.-designated terrorist groups, and we're talking about names like Al-Qaeda and Hamas. So incredibly serious stuff.
So this all raises the really obvious question, right? Why would a president pardon someone who admitted to a crime this serious? Let's take a look at the official justification the administration gave.
Okay, so the official line from the Trump administration is that CZ was, quote, persecuted by the Biden administration and that his actions were, quote, not even a crime. But that narrative is, well, in direct contrast to the legal reality. The fact that CZ actually pleaded guilty in federal court.
But wait, there's another really critical layer to the story that we need to talk about, and that is a pretty significant business connection between Binance and the Trump family.
So earlier this year, Binance was a key player in this massive $2 billion deal with an Amerity investment fund. Now, here's the kicker. That huge transaction was paid out using a cryptocurrency that was developed by the Trump family's own crypto business. It was a move that was, let's just say, highly profitable for their firm.
And this connection? It wasn't exactly a secret. The founder of the Trump family's crypto business, Zach Witkoff, he publicly thanked Binance for its role in the deal at a conference in Dubai just back in May.
So as you can probably imagine, this whole intersection of big business and high-level politics, well, it started raising some serious alarms on Capitol Hill. And this was way before the pardon was ever announced.
Yeah, back in May, a group of Democratic senators, including Elizabeth Warren, they formally voiced their concern. They worried that some kind of deal was being struck to enrich the president, and in exchange, legal oversight on Binance and the whole crypto industry would be rolled back.
Now, for his part, CZ publicly denied that any of these discussions were happening. Back in March, he posted on X saying, "Fact, I have had no discussions of Binance US deal with, well, anyone." But then he added this little cheeky line, "No felon would mind a pardon."
Okay, so what does this all add up to? When we really start connecting all the dots here, a pretty clear, if complicated, picture starts to emerge.
So let's just lay it all out. We have a president who issued a pardon. We have the guy who got the pardon, who, remember, pleaded guilty to serious federal crimes. And then we have a very clear multi-billion-dollar business tie between the president's family business and the company run by the guy who got the pardon.
And all of this leaves us with one final, and I think pretty crucial question. When the immense power of the presidency and personal financial interests intersect this directly, who is it that truly benefits in the end?